what inspired you to get into research?
Well, I've always liked analytical thinking and thinking about all the facets or parts of a problem or pieces of the elephant. And I've always loved maths and science. And my original degree was physiotherapy, and I suspect if I graduated today that I would have gone straight into a PhD. But at the time I graduated, that pathway wasn't available to me. So, which was a blessing in disguise, because it actually forced me to go out into clinical practice. And that really enabled me to see the fact that a lot of our practice wasn't able to draw on very much evidence, so the importance of making it available for practitioners.
And what would you say is your favourite part of your research career?
There's lots, but I think my top one is the sense of teamwork and collegiality that comes when you get a team of very skilled people, skilled in different domains, working together to develop a shared understanding of something with the ultimate goal of trying to change the world, even if it's just in a small way. I love that aspect of my job, and I love the aspect that I get to interact with a lot of different people at different levels of their careers. So I feel like my biases are constantly being challenged, and then I have the opportunity to challenge and be challenged by some of the really bright, new, young, early career researchers that are coming up.
And why OA specifically? My
PhD was actually in orthopaedics. I did a PhD around biomechanics, total knee replacement. And at that time that I was doing my PhD, the model of thinking around knee osteoarthritis was very, very much structural. And pain science and pain psychology and pain behaviour fields were very much in their infancy. And although it wasn't the topic of my PhD, it became clear that, because I was looking at different biomechanics of different types of knee replacement and how that related to outcome, it became clear that that wasn't really very much of a factor in explaining people's outcome, and that there were probably a lot of other factors. And after I completed my PhD, I went to work at Curtin University on a postdoc fellowship, and very fortuitous to form a close collaborative research team with Professor Peter O'Sullivan, who was at the cutting edge of thinking about and developing these models of thinking for low back pain. So for about 10 years, we worked predominantly in the field of low back pain, and then fortuitously again hooked up with University of Melbourne and Professor Peter Chung and Michelle Dowsey, and we were able to bring our understandings from the low back pain field back into osteoarthritis. So I feel like I've done this lovely circle, and it's been so interesting to compare and contrast some of our findings around knee osteoarthritis and low back pain.
Do you have any advice for any budding young researchers?
My advice, and we talk about this a lot in our team, is to let the dog wag the tail and not the tail wag the dog. Because there's so much pressure at the moment on up-and-coming researchers to tick all the boxes that you need to tick to make yourself top of the list in some very competitive grant applications, fellowship applications and so forth. And I know that that's a really hard thing to do, but just to try and stay faithful to your passions and doing what you love, because I believe that at the end of the day, if you don't do that, then having a career in research is worth it anyway.
And finally,
I know what's coming.
You know what's coming. What is your favourite flavour of ice cream?
Well, I try and adhere very much in my research to the KISS principle, the keep it simple, stupid principle. So I think that you might guess from that my favourite is vanilla.
I am surprised by how many people choose vanilla. It's amazing.
The KISS principle. It's the best.